Good morning, UCC. That's like the highest I've ever gotten my voice. Hello. Good morning. My name is Chris Petersmark. I'm the music director here. And today, it's very bittersweet, will be my final service with the Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Southwest Michigan. It is incredibly bittersweet. I'm excited to be back with my cat and wife in that order. But I am walking away with so many relationships, friends, call you guys my family too. Um, I was telling Reverend G last week how when I came here, I had no idea what Unitarian Universalists were all about. Uh, I just pray and hope that, and I just my mind's getting ahead of me. So I told G that this was the first time because I was raised Irish Catholic on the east side of the state. You know, we went to church every Saturday, like kneel, stand up, eat the body, drink the blood type of stuff. And um, this is the first, I told you this is the first time I felt like I didn't feel judged by a higher power. I didn't feel judged by anyone in the congregation and really just felt welcomed, open arms. And I know that's community is at the core of what Unitarian Universalism is all about. And I just pray and hope that one at my new church, which I'm sure that's the case because they've been a can of corn. They've been so sweet to me, so welcoming, just like y'all are, but it's just going to be different. And I don't want to say this as a goodbye, but it's an I'll see you later because it's not like I'm moving to South America or anything like that. I'm just going to be an hour north in Grand Rapids. Um, by the way, before I forget, shameless plug, uh, our opening night of Urinetown, the musical, it's like a comedy, is going to be at Aquinas College, the Circle Theater on September 6th. And then I was talking to, got a couple here. David and Lisa are going to be there, right? One of the shows. It's like goes all the way till mid-September, I want to say. But yeah, we had our first band rehearsal last night, and I felt sort of intimidated because I walked in. It's a pit of five musicians, and I'm like the youngest one there. And but they were all awesome, super fun music. But yeah, I'm gonna miss everyone so much. Add me on Instagram. I also have an email, phone number. It's all the same. But yeah, this isn't a goodbye. It's I'll see you later, and I'll if it's not a Sunday, I'll try to come out to events and stay posted through the UUCC Instagram page and see what everyone's up to. So let's end on a high note, no pun intended. Okay, today. And someone's birthday today, isn't it? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Leah. Happy birthday to you. Looking stylish with their new haircut as well. Looks awesome. Before we just jump in, I want to welcome a musician to the metaphorical stage. Musical guest Michael Murphy. It's going to come on up here.
One Irish Catholic to another, the Gaelic term is Slán agat, which means see you later. Slán agat.
There you go. So we're going to jump into hymn 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. And the plan that Michael and I were talking about this morning was we want to do one run through top to bottom, just all unison, and then we want to break into at least a two-part round. So, Michael, I don't know how we want to split it up. You want to divvy them up?
We have these three to this side, which will follow Chris in the second part, and then this group will follow me. I think that should be
Second time. I agree. It's going to be awesome.
First time we all sing together.
All right, here we go.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come,
Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Yay, fun. Next music director, we'll do 5-part round. How about that?
Thank you, Chris and Michael. And yeah, thank you, Chris, not just for today, but for all of the music you've blessed us with since you've been here, because music is such an important part of our worship. And so you are important to us, and you will always have a home here. Good morning and welcome to UUCC. I'm Regina Nelson, your lay leader, and I'm thrilled to see everyone here, whether in the sanctuary or joining us on Zoom or YouTube. If you're in the sanctuary, be aware that this service is recorded for YouTube. There are tables at the back, and they're available if you prefer to avoid appearing on camera. Please refrain from talking during the recording to avoid unintentional broadcasting and silence your cell phones. Visitors can explore literature about UU faith in the entrance and community room. You can also join our Zoom social time after the service. Discover more about our church, programs for children and youth, and weekly opportunities to connect with us on our website, uucommunitychurch.org. Situated on Shaver Road in Portage, Michigan, our church on the ancestral lands of the Peoria and Potawatomi people proudly displays a rainbow flag and Black Lives Matter sign, symbolizing our inclusive community dedicated to creating a just and sustainable world. We are a community on diverse spiritual journeys, and we enjoy hearing differing points of view from my minister, Reverend G. Ludwig McCartney, guest ministers, lay leaders, and guest speakers. Today, Reverend Leonetta will offer us a template of Kaleidoscope Mindfulness that can be applied to each stage of our lives. Reverend Leonetta was ordained as a UU minister in 1990. She has served several UU congregations throughout her career, and most recently, Brighton, where she retired in May for the second time. Her theology is best described as transcendentalist Buddhist. She lives in Southeast Michigan with her husband, Michael Murphy, grandson, and her cat, Misty. Thanks to everyone contributing to this morning's service, our greeters, musician, tech team, coffee host, RE volunteers, and each of you. Your presence and contributions are truly appreciated. Now it's time for a couple of announcements. Lifeline health screening will be at UUCC on Friday, September 6th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Lifeline uses ultrasound to evaluate the carotid arteries for the buildup of fatty plaque, a leading cause of stroke. Visit lifelinescreening.com to learn more. A memorial open house for Lindsay Furry will take place on Sunday, September 8th from 1 to 4 p.m. at UU Community Church. Lindsay's family has invited those who remember her to attend. Now it's time to light the chalice. Today, globally, Unitarian Universalists continue to light the chalice. As truth seekers, we pursue a resilient truth that withstands questioning and doubts. The flame serves as a constant reminder of our shared values, bringing them to life in our community. All right. Please say with me the words on the screen. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to see, to sustain, and to share. Today's reading comes from our grain hymnal. It's number 487. The bell is full of wind, though it does not ring. The bird is full of flight, though it is still. The sky is full of clouds, though it is alone. The word is full of voice, though no one speaks it. Everything is full of fleeing, though there are no roads. Everything is fleeing towards its presence.
Michael just reminded me that this particular song is an action song. So let's see, we get fire. Yes, we get water. We get mountain. We get river, and we get spirit. So if you are willing and able, you can either do that from your chair, like chair yoga, or you can stand up. And then you can do movements as you feel comfortable. But remember, you were given this body, so use it as you must or can.
And the last line of the song is, turn the world around.
Oh, good luck with that.
So
Turn it around really slowly.
stand as you are willing and able. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living in the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Water make the river, river wash the mountain. Fire make the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the Spirit, truly of the Spirit. Only can the Spirit turn the world around.
From now on, bring Dramamine to church. You never know what. That is gonna be a switch. Now we're gonna go into all that action and then meditation. We should have had our children. Did you see? I think you have at least 3 children visiting today. So during our meditation, I would like to invite you to take a time to quiet our spirit and selves and go within a little. Mark Depot shares these words: "The more I am hallowed by the fire, the more my ribs spread out like the tree of life. The more I am washed by the tears of others, the more my heart rounds like an ocean shell. The more stories that I tell of how one picks up another, the more my hands open like scoops to pick up the grain. To be what others drink, to be what others stand on, to reach what they love. We all should be so lucky to be worn by this." And the additional reading I'd like to bring us to is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And for this one, I'd like you to close your eyes. I've been living with this meditation this morning. Darby and Bruce hosted us for overnight guests, and their garden is laid out. And I'd like you to close your eyes while I'm speaking about this. Their garden is laid out so each flower, each rose bush, each hibiscus, each Stella Dora lily, and the grasses all have their individual space. And so they can be appreciated, and was almost reflective of these words from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And at the end, we're going to sit in silence for a few moments and think about how each of us, our particular plant, rose, and how we hold ourselves in no competition. As these roses under my window make no reference to former roses or to better ones, they are for what they are, and they exist with God today. There is no time to them. There is simply the rose. It is perfect in its every moment of its existence. Before a leaf bud has burst, its whole life acts. In the full-blown flower, there is no more. In the leafless root, there is no less. In nature is satisfied, and its satisfied nature are all alike in each moment. But we as humans often postpone or remember. We don't live in the present, but with a reverted eye lament the past, or heedless of the riches that surround us, stand on tiptoe to foresee the future. May we be happy and strong in the space that we are, in this place and nature that we reside, and at the age and the role that we take on in life's garden. In our silence, may we hold on to those images and then let them go. May we hold on to the roles that we use and live in right now, and then let that go and breathe in and out and move into this silence in harmony and peace in these moments. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. Please join me. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out
I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
So I usually don't talk before I sing the reflection number, but this one, similar to the trend happening right now, has some audience participation. So there's a section. Basically, what this is one of my favorite gospel artists, Jonathan McReynolds. He's amazing. Look him up. He sings this number about 5 keys higher. Uh, he's a tenor. I'm more of like a baritone. But anyway, this number, "Make Room," is about making room in your life. Whatever it is, I made it more applicable to Unitarians, but God could be your community, could be a spouse, making more time for those things in your life that mean a lot to you. Just when you feel like the jumble of balancing multiple things up in the air all at once becomes too overwhelming, you just got to stay focused and think about where you really want to put all your time and energy into. So near the end of the number, you're going to see it in parentheses, and the words are, "You can move that over. You can move that over. You can move that over. You can move that over." It's just, you'll see it. Can I hear that one time? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and you can move that over. You can move that over. You can move that over. Nice. Now, if you really want to be extra zesty and challenging, all the musicians in the room, if you want to go, if you want to try it, find it, or maybe we got a 3-part. Just find a note. You'll find a note. Here we go. This is Jonathan McReynolds, "Make Room." I find space for what I treasure. I make time for what I want. I choose my priorities, and God, you're my number one. So I will make room for you. I will prepare for two, so you don't feel that you can't live here. Please live in me. Live in me, yeah. I find space for what I treasure. I make time for what I want. I choose my priorities, and God, you are my number one. Yes, God, you're my number one. So I will make room for you. I will prepare for two, so you don't feel that you can't live here. Please live in me. Live in me, yeah. Please live in me, My will, my way, my ego, my plans, my schedule, my itinerary. See, I will make room. My habits, my attitude, whatever it is, it's not like you. Whatever it is, you can move it over. See, I will make room, yeah. Whatever it is that's in your way, whatever it is, if it takes your space, whatever it is, I don't want it there. See, I will make room, whatever it is that's in your way, whatever it is. If it takes your space, whatever it is, and I don't want it there. See, I will make room. I find space for what I treasure. I make time for what I want. I choose my priorities, and God, you're my number one.
At night, when the sea is still, you can't tell the sky from the water, and everything is convoluted mirrors spiraling towards the darkness. There's an abyss of serpentine stars warping the night sky into a kaleidoscope of constellations. The sky is full of stars, and some of us get this euphoric sensation that you're floating in space, suspended in stellar time, with nothing but oblivion, and then pinpricks of light around me. Somehow, that is what brings me comfort, to pretend as though I too am significant in this world. So Michael's going to play a tune that many of you are familiar with from back in the old hippie days with Joni Mitchell. So if you feel so moved, you can stand up, or if you just like to listen to the verses and only sing the chorus, it's completely up to you, because we are Unitarian Universalists making our rules as we walk down the path.
Yesterday a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. And words like, when you're older, must appease him, and promises of someday make her dream. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town. And you tell him, take your time, it won't be long now. Till you drag your feet to slow the circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. So the years spin by, and now that child is 20. Though her dreams have lost some grandeur coming true. There'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty before that last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game.
So before I start, I would like to just compliment all of you on this congregation, the size of your congregation and what you are able to accomplish here is so impressive. If you traveled around to other UU churches, you'd know exactly what I'm referring to. But I used to be before pre-ministry. I was not just a teacher, but I also was property manager of commercial real estate. So unfortunately, I'm the person that has that kind of eye that can go, oh, there's going to be a leak there and that needs to be washed, and there's a light switch missing there. Your congregation stands out away from other congregations. UU congregations tend to be a little overly organic, which kind of covers a multitude of sins, right? But it's just so bright in here. The restroom is so bright and cheery. Everything, my mother would love it here. A place for everything and everything in its place. And those are the kinds of things that actually give comfort to each of you and to your visitors. because you walk in and you don't feel like you have to straighten the picture or clear off a table or find the pamphlets, and the pamphlets are scattered around in the coffee hour area and vice versa. So I just want to applaud that. And I do know Reverend G, and you are so fortunate to have such a soulful person as your minister here. So let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, Reverend Leonetta was young. Long time ago. But one of my favorite toys when I was growing up in the 1960s was this do-it-yourself kaleidoscope. Some of you might remember those. It was this long red tube, and it had a plastic end that you could take off, and you could put whatever you wanted in there, little tiny objects. So I would put my mother's bobby pin and a little sequin that popped off of one of my stuffed animals and other tiny objects. Sometimes even just a hair from your head you could put in there. And then you would turn it around and line up your eye in the peephole and push it, line it up towards a light. And that changed the perspective of all the things within the kaleidoscope as it went round and round. And it occupied me for quite a while. My Capricorn mother was always happy with that. 35 years ago, when I created my packet to apply for Unitarian Universalist congregations, I called my packet a kaleidoscope of ministry. The point being that after you put all those components of ministry into a clear perspective, there's always going to be changes as the community brings different energy and ideas. Kaleidoscope refers to just that, this mixture of different changing things, especially images, colors, shapes. But today we're going to look at our own spiritual approaches to mindfulness and how that image of the kaleidoscope and the changes and the change in perspectives can apply to you today. Mary Engelbright probably stated this approach most clearly. Life is what you put into it. You might remember that she had a shoebox and it said life. And so whatever you put in, so often it was a heart, you put your heart into life. What do you choose to put into your kaleidoscope of mindfulness? What do you want to see repeated, refracted, reflected in your daily living? What beliefs and practices and rituals are so meaningful to you that you would like your own personal kaleidoscope to show that in different perspectives? Unitarian Universalists sometimes think that they're a Unitarian Universalist and they're standing up. I'm a Unitarian Universalist. And you all know what that is. You're liberal, you're thoughtful, you're very educated, opinionated, and etc. I tend to encourage all of you to add one word to that. You're a practicing Unitarian Universalist. A Buddhist would never say, I'm a Buddhist. I'm a Buddhist and I am approaching nirvana, and I'm a Buddhist and I'm all finished. No, you're practicing. And so I invite all of you to take this kaleidoscope as a transparency, a metaphor for you to work with, for you personally. I'm going to drive back to Sterling Heights, and I'm not going to be checking on all of you to see what goals or what little images you put in your kaleidoscope and what work you're going to be doing. It's for you personally to put to work. So sometimes you all put spiritual codes to work. Some of you use the 7 UU principles. Some of you use the new Article 2. G has let you know about that, right? How many know about Article 2? You know what? There's some congregations back in the Detroit area that don't know about it yet, but they're going to. So our karma or cones, sometimes you use the figurative or the literal or the symbolic stories from the Bible. Some of you use Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements. And so you use different codes. So what code would you put in your kaleidoscope? What would you want to pass down to the next generation? That would be what your code is. You can change the elements in your kaleidoscope. You can add to them the symbolic stories of the Bible. Sometimes for some of you have transposed into different meanings in your life as you grew older and applied life lessons. I am so happy that you're a congregation that can use the G word without needing Benadryl. And so that is so comforting. The beautiful closing piece that you gave us, that was just like it was like a blessing. And how beautifully that it fits into what I'm speaking about, that there's, what do you choose? What do you prioritize to put into your kaleidoscope? You can add affirmations that are positive, because did you know, most of you know, that you have 60,000 thoughts every day, most of you. The women might have 70, and the men might have a little less because they're listening to the women share theirs. But I'm sorry, I think I'm not supposed to do that anymore. It's probably breaking some rule, but I'm driving back to Sterling Heights, so report me to who you must. But out of those 60,000 thoughts, 75% of them are usually negative. And so 95% needed to be repeated. And please, those are the things that get repeated, are the negative. And so you can't really say enough positive things to yourself or to people you see without it going overboard. So how are you mindful when you speak? I can give my age away, not my weight ever. Almost slipped on that one. I'm 72. Now I sometimes pause before I respond. And I think everything that happens here doesn't have to come out here. And sometimes you can actually have a silence and not respond at all. If there's a group of 5 or 6 people, you don't always have to voice your opinion. Sometimes you can just listen. And so I'm giving you too many mixed metaphors here, but I'm only going to be here this one time, so I have to get everything in. So sometimes you can do this or do this. You can even do it behind your back when you're speaking. And that sometimes will slow you down to be more mindful about your response. The other suggestion I have is to have a long, little skinny mouth like a hummingbird and big Dumbo ears. Isn't that a ridiculous image? But that you're listening more than you're speaking. So these are not new ideas, they're just reminders. For some of you in your kaleidoscope, you're going to put in beautiful images of nature, and you're going to put in, waves from water or beautiful mountaintops or whatever image pushes you into a place of harmony and peace so that you can come back to the world with responses rather than reactions. Some of you are going to use grounding symbols of hearts. I got brave and got a henna with a heart on it at an Indian festival on Friday. And some of you aren't going to use the kaleidoscope because you're more detailed persons. You're going to use the fisheye. Are you familiar with the fisheye? It's this little toy that you look through and you only have one thing that you're looking at. And that one thing is what gets moved around. That is very helpful to be able to have that kind of focus. And you might use a goal process that was introduced on a website called the Million Goals. You might take 10 goals in the present tense that you want to look at for the next year. So you're moving into a new church year. This is a perfect time. But for you personally, 10 goals. We all have some of the same goals, to organize the junk drawer or to go through our stuff in the basement or to lose weight or to be more healthy, whatever the 10 goals are. But then you circle a goal that will have the greatest impact on your life. I would probably choose the one that I could see the most progress the most quickly. You write that down and you set a deadline, and then you make a list of what needs to happen to reach that goal, and you do something toward it every day. I might have to come back and check on you for some of those things. And you'd have to ask me, how's that organizing your basement going? And it's still going and going. One of the goals that I've made this past month, and some of you have made the same goal over the last few years, is to find a balance between national news, international news, and your own personal creativity, productivity, and most importantly, your sanity. I don't want to be an ostrich with my head in the sand and avoid all reality. I want to know the state of affairs in Ukraine, in Israel with Hezbollah. I want to know those things, but I don't want to end up having to stop living in harmony and peace and able to give kindness. So I have to monitor how much of that I ingest. And all of you will find the proper quotient for that, for quality living. I've decided to throw an additional example of how choices of somebody's personal kaleidoscope of living might be less than harmonious. As Unitarian Universalists, it's said that the minister's sermons are supposed to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comforted. This is probably the afflicting the comforted part. We can apply this kaleidoscope approach to look at other situations in life. The shooter who rocked our worlds a few weeks ago as he shot at our former president. What type of kaleidoscope was this 20-year-old man using for his framework and philosophy for the actions that he took? I'm not going to mention his name or get into the pros and the cons and what the FBI didn't do and who the Secret Service didn't run to. I'm not getting into that. I'm looking at the kaleidoscope of that young man. What I did offer is that fisheye intentional lens that he had on his actions. He plotted, he planned, he proceeded to use drones, ladders, and an assault weapon borrowed from his father's collection. Easy enough, since there are 28 million assault rifles in circulation in the U.S. Research of this young man who also showed that he studied the young man who killed 4 Oxford high school students last year. And this motive of having a notoriety of self. So how do you get attention? You do something this grand and this off the charts. So I bring this up to say, we're not just responsible for our own kaleidoscope. We're responsible for other people's kaleidoscopes and what they put in. And sometimes it's merely you saying some positive thing to them, and they can put that into their kaleidoscope. It's for you to have your antenna out, not just for neighbors' children, but any children that you see. If a child is running through coffee hour or running through a restaurant and you know that they're going to get hurt because somebody's carrying something heavy or hot, it's the human family. You get to say something gently, oh, can I help you find your mom and dad? Something like that. You don't have to start an altercation. But what I'm saying is it goes from the I, my little kaleidoscope, to the we, the bigger kaleidoscope. So all of us have a big responsibility with these kaleidoscopes. Maybe it'll get as big as the Jack Webb telescope, and we can include the whole universe and beyond. How can you adjust your kaleidoscope? When will you adjust your kaleidoscope? The next few months are going to offer opportunities for dialogue and connection and discord and conflict. It's going to be up to you as how you respond to those around you with gentleness and respect. One of the things that I'm sure that you all have practiced in the past is longer and longer meditations, but I guess I relate this to my dad originally. He was the Italian one. And if I would be reading, he'd say, "What are you doing? You're not doing anything." So you can imagine how he reacted when he would see me sitting there silently meditating. What are you doing? You're not producing anything. Yet we are. We're producing something, though, that cannot be seen. We're producing a place in ourselves that we can call on and relate to. So we do just what I've mentioned now 3 times. Respond with mindfulness rather than react with who knows what will come out of us unmeasured. I look forward to hearing from some of you about your kaleidoscopes. If you give me a personal email, I'm going to send you a little clip of this song that Nora Jones sings. And somebody just sent it to me last night. But it's so beautiful because it puts in my kaleidoscope this understanding of my friends. I'm getting goosebumps, that vote differently than I do. This song encapsulates why all of us need to vote whatever our hearts and our values lead us to. And this is a beautiful song. So I'll leave a sheet back there by the great tech people. And if you want me to email you the song, I have a lot of good friends that have other opinions. Can you imagine? They even eat meat. I don't understand it, but I love them anyway. But this song relates to the values of why they eat meat or why they don't. And so all of those things, I hope that you can be compassionate to others and you can add or delete to your kaleidoscope, and you can be the people that we want to be as Unitarian Universalists, following 7 principles or Article 2, whichever one you can remember, as we affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of each person, even those people that think differently. So be it. Thank you. Oh, we get it. Regina is on it.
Thank you, Reverend Leonetta, for giving us that homework assignment. Now it's time for the offering. Our lives are filled with many blessings. Let's come together with gratitude and love to share a part of these gifts to support our religious community. You can show your love by giving in a practical way to keep our space vibrant and share our positive message. Look at the screen for ways to give. Our ushers are here to collect your offering. Together, we make a meaningful impact through our shared generosity. Now it's time to extinguish the chalice. As we extinguish the chalice, let us remember to keep the flame awake and alive in our souls, and let the light of the chalice bind us together, showing us the way. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing words come from Lauren Marie and is titled Kaleidoscope. I only ask of you to aim for balance. No one, not even yourself, is expecting you to fall into another category of extremes. In life, we have more than the black and white. I don't just want you to see the gray, but the kaleidoscope of colors this beautiful world has to offer. May it be so. Please stay seated for the postlude. Afterwards, we'll have Q&A with Reverend Leonetta.